What if I told you you were playing with a stacked deck while trying to improve your blood sugar? Maybe you've been told you have prediabetes or worse, diagnosed with diabetes, and you've been trying to make changes, but they're just hard to stick to or simply not working. What if I told you your sleep, or better yet, your lack of good restorative sleep, could be the ball and chain that's holding you back from success? Because it just might be. I'm Dr. Derek. I'm speaking to you from Revive Naturopathic Medicine. We're a team of naturopathic doctors whose mission it is to educate and empower others with contextual, practical, and nuanced information that we find is often sorely missed in health conversations online and in office. In this video, we're going to dive into the subtle but powerful connections between sleep and blood sugar regulation. This is a topic of discussion with every patient we see. It's vital our patients understand the power of good sleep, how to get enough sleep, and how their body regulates mood, metabolism, hunger, and stress as it relates to their sleep. So we'll dive into what constitutes good sleep, how it can be measured, and its impacts on blood sugar regulation, relevant testing, and including continuous glucose monitoring, which we think is an incredibly valuable tool as it pertains to sleep and its connections to blood sugar and diabetes. Did you sleep well last night? How do you know, right? Sleep is interesting. It has a subjective kind of how we feel component, and it has an objective, measurable component. For instance, we can know how many times we got up at night. We can understand that we woke up by looking at the clock, and now wearables can give us an estimate, around this data as well. They can give us a total sleep time and sometimes details on our REM and non-REM sleep. But there's also a kind of a feel to a good night's sleep. We feel refreshed, we feel awake, we feel energized, or on the flip side, we feel sluggish or groggy, nauseous, or just simply just kind of tired and rotten if it was a bad night. In our clinic, there's some objective goals we have for our patients. These are, one, to give yourself an opportunity to get 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep. Nobody sleeps solidly from the time they lay down to the minute they wake up. So this usually means we need an 8 to 9 hour window to get this 7.5 to 8 hours sleep, and you might even need more. Another goal is to try to go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time every day, and that's including weekends. Our body craves rhythm and routine. And lastly, we want to try to get at least 1.5 to 2 hours of sleep before midnight. And this might mean setting a nighttime routine that helps you begin to wind down, and get to bed around 9:30, 10 o'clock. We also like to leverage technology as it can help us understand more and more about our sleep. There's at-home sleep studies that can be done, especially for diagnosing sleep disorders. At Revive, we typically recommend the WatchPat1, which is an at-home sleep test that links up to your cell phone. It's easy, it's accurate, and you can learn more about it in the link below in the description. We also live in a time where wearable technology gives us plenty of sleep insights, and our favorite sleep-centric wearable is the Oura Ring. I happen to be wearing one right now. It's easy, it's accurate, it's really simple to wear, and it gives us incredibly useful data around our total sleep time, how much time we spend in light and deep sleep, as well as insights into our stress response. I also love that the Oura Ring can tell us how illness or alcohol or stress or other external influences can affect variables around sleep and stress. This is also where continuous glucose monitors can be of utility. While they don't measure sleep, we can get feedback on blood sugar fluctuations at night and in the morning, and to determine if unstable blood sugar may be interrupting sleep. And you can also see how maybe a couple of nights of poor sleep influences blood sugar regulation in those subsequent days. So let's think about how we feel after a bad night or two of sleep and how that can influence blood sugar. First off, we're tired, right? That's for sure. with that, we're more likely to skip a workout or skip an after dinner walk, because we're just kind of feeling gross. And of course, those are helpful tools to keep our insulin sensitivity up. We might be more irritable or less patient after a couple nights of bad sleep. And this is our stress response being hijacked. And this alone can raise blood sugar levels. And we'll talk more about that in a video around stress and blood sugar as well. We're more likely to emotionally eat, right? And of course, we're not picking out on salad. It's usually comfort food, carbs, and sugar-laden foods. And of course, these can be just devastating to our blood sugar. And lastly, we might be more hungry. It's actually been shown that a lack of sleep interferes with hunger hormones and insulin sensitivity. And, this can mean we feel like we need to eat more to get that sensation of being satisfied. What's going on behind the scenes biochemically is that after even just one night of bad sleep, we are more insulin resistant, which will elevate our glucose. Behaviorally, we are more likely to eat more and worse foods. And of course, for most, again, that means carbohydrates and sugar, and this will elevate our glucose levels. And lastly, we produce more stress hormone, which again will influence our glucose metabolism. So now if we're wearing a continuous glucose monitor, you can actually see how this unfolds in real time. And it's not uncommon for our patients using CGMs that we may see elevated fasting glucoses or disrupted glucose metabolism throughout the evening, high spikes, or sometimes we will see dips and their blood sugar is kind of tanking in the middle of the night, and that can lead to them waking up or feeling extra hungry in the morning. We use this data to kind of create or modify nutritional or supplemental plans to help stabilize this. This is information that only CGMs can provide, so it's a unique tool to have at our disposal, diabetes or not, which is why we are proponents of almost everybody having an opportunity to wear a CGM, and we made a video specifically about that and why I think it's such a valuable tool. The being able to see this data in our personal context can be very powerful and important for us to implement change. If you didn't hear about the story of me eating six rolled tacos while wearing a CGM, I would suggest you check that out. There's a link in the description below to that video. It was wild. So if you've tried a CGM before, leave a comment below on your experience. If you haven't and you want to try our Fuel Better program, we'd be happy to have you, and you can book a 15-minute discovery call in the link in the description. This Fuel Better program is built around 30 days of CGM use, as well as a specific and individualized consult with our naturopathic doctors to help you understand what this information means for you. Again, back to sleep, it's tough for many people, and it's not always a simple fix. So understanding what's awry with the sleep and kind of lifestyle and behavioral components can be incredibly helpful, and working with a doctor in a holistic manner can be a very useful tool. I would say our first go-to when people are not sleeping well is to help folks understand what's going on with their stress hormone. And in our practice, we use a test called the Dutch Adrenal Test that measures cortisol at multiple times throughout the day to look at how it's ebbing and flowing. Cortisol is supposed to have a normal rhythm throughout the day, higher in the morning, taper off in the late afternoon, and be nice and low in the evening time. We don't want to be all jacked up with stress hormone in the evening. And if we are, oftentimes that can relate to some poor sleep. We'll talk more about this test in our video on stress and blood sugar regulation, but the gist of it is that we're living in a really stressful time, and oftentimes we're marinating in way too much cortisol, and that inhibits our body to relax, to wind down, and often get out of this fight or flight type state, and this is a big component of people having difficulty sleeping. So check out that video, and even consider our stress-free and 1-2-3 ebook. In that ebook, we lay out 1, the testing we love for stress hormone measurement, 2,
2
app-based programs that we recommend for our patients, and there is a discount code within that. And then 3 research-backed supplements that have been helpful for many who feel stressed and overwhelmed. And we'd like to share that with you because I think it's very useful tools to arm yourself with. Thanks for watching, and we hopefully can connect with you soon.